Yeah. All right, my friend. Welcome, Paul Gordan, the man who says it like it is. Be authentic. And so being the authentic with you, which is one of the reasons we are here and not necessarily fireside chat, but Christmas tree side chat, because it's that time of year. I'm Andrew, knowledge adventurer, coach, guide, and entrepreneur and friend, coming to you wanting to close this year on an upbeat, positive message, which is why I'm here speaking with Paul. Take it away, Paul. It's all. So who's Paul?
Yeah, well, let's see. The nutshell introduction is that I currently live in Denmark with my beloved wife, who is Danish. We met and fell in love with each other 20-something years before we were able to get together. And we met at a performance festival. I have been a professional international touring performer and creator of my own work since I was 23. And I've traveled around the world performing on TV shows and stages to an estimated worldwide audience of well over 2 billion people. And in the course of that touring career, I've been asked to teach people Q&As, lectures, master classes, workshops, all that stuff. And I codified it into the thing that I love to teach, which is how to get out of your own way and say exactly what you mean.
Nice one.
That, in my opinion, is the salvation of everybody and anybody, whether it be an online business space, a public speaker, or an artist of any potential influence, because you have to actually uniquely, honestly, authentically express something you truly care about without caring what anybody else thinks of it, in order to be the beacon of pure and potentially powerful, impactful truth.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So just so effectively, you come to this now in the online space. We're online now. We're sharing in the Zoom world, if you will. So what is it that so zooming in on it? So what is it that you actually have come to do now that we've obviously kind of nudged on to being more online? What is it that you actually do? What's your thing?
My thing. I teach people how to relate their honest, heartfelt, passionate interests and services and goods and offers through the video lens in such a way that it attracts people instead of having to try to convince and cajole and connive and manipulate so much.
Yes.
And I do that myself. I put out badass, impactful, compelling, helpful video. And in so doing, I have amassed a following of people, a small group, and I've monetized all of that stuff. So it's, it's like it's just an extension of all the other things that I like to do. And I had been marinating the idea of doing it in an online way for, many years before I did. And then I put it together, and now I help clients online as well, in the business space, artists, pre-professional and professional, public speaking. I give away my stuff to people with a substantial stutter or a stammer, because I want to help those people and they deserve it for free.
Absolutely.
Things like that.
Nice one. So if someone, basically stuck in their own way and basically still haven't quite connected with their true voice, and were to reach out to you in particular, and what kind of product or services, how would they access that? I mean, it's one thing that you have the expertise and the mastery, and you share that openly, but you say you have product and service, but you also, there's this area of service to help others. How would you? How do they access that?
I have a free Facebook group. It's The Art of Face Dancing. And I also have if you go to theartoffacedancing.com, that'll take you to my that'll take you to my landing pages for my what I do. I've been calling what I do the art of face dancing, neck up presentational skills for a long time. And I've condensed, I have a few different ways that I help people. I have one-on-one custom coaching. It's the most expensive aspect, but that's the most hands-on thing. I have a group coaching thing, and then I also have just an online course that I offer people. And the online course is basically a masterclass in everything I know about presentation and entrepreneurial artistry in order to deliver big, create the content, and then reach out to people and engage so that you can monetize your work, right?
Fantastic. I mean, the thing that kind of strikes me in what you're sharing is, which is awesome, is that we are now more in front of the lens than ever before, and that can really throw people off. And some people just have stuff around that. They're not into selfies, even though the world has gone mad for selfies and all that kind of business. But so you've got the great tools. You're a bit, possibly, specifically bespoke, strategic and tactical to help people because you get to know them in the one-to-one space or the group space. But to really tap in here, which is one of the reasons that I've kind of been drawn to the work that you do, is that notion of authenticity. Could you unpack that? Because that is the essence of what seems to lift everything up for you and bring it to the space. Could you kind of go into that a bit more of what the essence, the spirit, or the ethos behind you that brings it, that people go, I want a piece of that?
Sure. There's a few different aspects, but let's just go straight to the authenticity. I don't blame business speaking coaches and all the people who are giving you scripts. Scripts are ridiculously god-awful, worthless bullshit. The reason is that they will help people get off the ground if they don't know how to do things, but they will take nobody anywhere because it's all generic crap that people are spewing forth just like everybody else, and they're not good enough to make it unique. So they are going to end up being in the herd of droners that bore everyone to tears with their lackluster, less than stellar, generic, horrible, sorry ass excuse for reality that happens to pass for acceptable in this online space. That's the only reason that stuff doesn't work.
So it's mediocrity on steroids, sadly.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, the problem is, look at this for just a moment. Bask in this, if you will. Imagine one of your favorite pieces of music, one of your favorite actors, one of your favorite scenes from a movie or a, whatever online anything that you pay attention to, because, a YouTube video, all that stuff. If it's not a freak coincidence, happenstance that magically and luckily was caught on video, the rest of it is prepared to a certain extent. The preparation of that and the delivery of that has to be excellently manifested through engaging, impactful, honest uniqueness. Everything you like, every piece of music, every piece of art that you see, everything that you wear has not been built on strategy first. It came from a heartfelt desire to solve something. And when the online business space tells people that you should use strategy first, that's only because and I don't blame them, it's just because they have no clue how to teach anything else, and they can only gain money by selling what they know how to do. So everybody just bounces around these scripts. But if everybody does scripts, then everybody drones on like the herd. And the only way in this world that attracts you to the things that you find the most fascinating is that those things are unique.
Absolutely.
So our authenticity is actually our salvation.
Well, I mean, that's one of the great things about catching up with you, is because you kind of cut through the shit and tell it like it is, which is great. And that's kind of what
don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be
shy, Paul. Yeah,
Tell me what you really think.
Come out of your shell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But and that's really why I'm here touching base with you, because I think through challenging and tough year that many have had. Well, tough period. It's not just been a year. It's a process. It's a journey. It's an experience. So I'm not going to time frame it like that. But we are in the end of a 2021. And again, the clients that I work with, and I'm coaching, and I'm constantly hear kind of a repeat thread of just, oh shit, and then they go into it, and it's like there's a lot of misery there. But I keep reframing and getting them to work with them and come back at it from a different angle. And actually, there's been a lot of magnificence. There's been a lot of awesomeness. There's been a lot of progress. There's been a lot of evolution and so forth, and just development. And yet, when we're so close to it, we can't see it. So as we're coming to the end of this particular year and getting ready for a new one, and I know those are just signposts for whatever the hell the matrix might be, but at the end of the day, it matters, because they're signposts for certain people, and they, it's markers, and they can gauge or score keep whatever they're doing. So on a kind of ending note, or a nice closing out note on an essence of what you've been sharing through your work, through your tools, through your product, through your service, through your, helping others, what is something from your perspective that someone could take away with today and really hold on to that to get them over the hump of that might be a tricky time now, or take it even further, even if it's a great time, make it even better, and then welcome the new as it comes in and be available, open to it, as opposed to cautious, oh crap, here we go again stuff. There's something much more upbeat.
Well, I think, we don't know what's going to happen next year. We don't know, what we have witnessed in the past 2 years-ish is the arrival of something that, we can see in hindsight people may have predicted or whatever, but they weren't, the coming of a pandemic, no one actually knows when and if and how. So the fact that this has happened has fundamentally shifted things. And if that teaches us nothing else, it is that we don't know what's coming. And that includes the good with the bad. So let's not paint it as a sorry, horrible thing. There is loads of potential, okay? And the other thing is, the time is now.
Yeah.
The time to do things is now. What do you actually feel you need to place so profoundly in your way as an obstacle, attempting to undermine you at every step of the way? Why is that so important? What would you choose to place in front of you to stop you that is so compellingly there and resoundingly underminable? Rather, let's embrace the fact that we can move forward and see that our authentic potential power that should happen now can be unlocked and unleashed upon the world. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be excellent. I have a few moments before my family Zoom call.
Before your curfew.
Yeah, group the group thing. So I see this as, it's not a life gives you lemons to make lemonade. It's more a fact of this stuff that is unfolding on a regular basis, whether it be this pandemic that has, for some people it's been a horrible thing, and for other people it has actually been a vehicle that can be sort of allowed in so that we can recontextualize what we're doing. Many people have opted to not work where they used to work because they say, screw this. I don't want to be treated like crap, and I don't want to be in an unsafe situation or what have you. And they have embraced trying to do their own thing now. We live in this online thing, so the amount of, like you said at the beginning of this, the amount of online, FaceTime we use, if you're going to separate yourself from other people, if you're going to raise your bar, You can do it in your Facebook Lives, in a Zoom call, in a summit, in your video content, in YouTube, in Insta, anything, right? And starting someplace is different than starting in the right place. Getting, just showing up and doing someone's cheesy ass 30-day challenge is no excuse for actually learning some free but effective, powerful, helpful, accurate training. That there's a difference between doing video and doing good video.
Yes.
But that's like anything. And looking at it as, the last thing I'll say here is that we are social animals, except for a very, very few small, small, minuscule percentage of the population. Human beings actually prefer not to live their entire life in a cave in the woods. Most people gauge themselves in relation to others, and it is the attempt to be in two-way dialogue so that we are talking with rather than talking at.
Exactly.
Like some of this is me kind of talking at, but that's me being playful, right? Actually, I like the engagement of a two-way conversation. Learning how to have this resonate so that it feels like, a two-way conversation requires understanding the power of this medium so that we can be the best, most engaging, inquisitive, two-way dialogue communicators that we can in this online space.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you hit it on the head for me in the sense that you're sharing this idea of connection. But in order to be connected, we also need to kind of tap into ourselves and spend that moment of pause, whatever this moment has provided us, to connect with self, not in a selfish way, which is unfortunately that word has been hijacked in so many ways, but actually to tune into self a bit, to check in, what we're resonant with, what we're dissonant with, and all this kind of stuff. And then with that, you come to, the arena. I mean, Shakespeare, the world is a stage, we're all a bunch of players in it. But in order to even do that, you have to be authentically real on your own to know where you're even starting from and how to get going from there. Because you need a reference. And the reference is, why not be you rather than, as you said, follow someone else's crappy old script that disserves you and disempowers you, as opposed to, or just makes you mediocre Joe whatever, as opposed to stepping up and going, okay, here I am, and I'm adaptable, and I'm resonant, and I'm authentic, and let's go with it. And I think that's an awesome message. And I think particularly those who might feel a bit scared of, tapping into themselves and might be a little bit kind of freaked out, going, well, what does that actually mean? Things are changing. All the more reason to step in. And one of the things that I had a great chat with in a coaching session with a couple of people around, and they kind of brought to it, and we went around it and explored it, is as things become more challenging and be more freaked out, or whatever it might be for people, that is in fact almost a signal to step up as yourself even more, as opposed to shy away from. It's almost a calling out, going, in order to improve things, in order to be more real, in order to make it as whatever, you need to be more yourself. So let's step up, not shy away from and go, I'm running for the hills. And that's just, that to me is kind of what this dialogue, scratching the surface, is really all about, which is one of the reasons I reached out to you, because you tell it like it is, which is great. And you've got means with which to do so. So somebody really, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you as we come into the holiday season, the season of giving and receiving and sharing and learning and growing? What would be the best way to connect with you?
I think, go to theartoffacedancing.com.
Cool.
My email, I don't throw it around everybody, but it's perfectly fine. You can always reach out to me at my Gmail account, which is superhoke, SUPERHOKE @gmail.com.
Nice one.
And let me know where you found me, and I'll get back to you. On Facebook, although my name is Paul Gordan, my Facebook moniker is switched, so I'm Gordan Paul. And
Nice one.
my group is The Art of Face Dancing on Facebook, and I'm also on LinkedIn and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I like what you said, in this last little thing. I mean, if you know who you really are, what you want to say and why you want to say it, no one can stop you.
Absolutely.
The issue that I encounter over the past 3 decades teaching people is that most people have some kind of, mommy issues, daddy issues, peer issues, inner critic, whatever it is, screaming to try to stop them. And they have to learn how to get out of their own way so that they can say what they mean, because we're all unique beings. And if you locate what you want to say, it's not just about business. It's a liberating thing. I love this. I like not feeling like I hold myself back. But what I say, I have thought about. These are thoughtful things that I believe in. And I like to teach other people the freedom, the liberating freedom of self-expression.
Fantastic. Nice one.
That's it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's for me, my kind of thing is, life is an adventure and we are the adventurers. So we just need to get on the road and step up, whatever it could be, a dirt path, it could be a super highway, it could be whatever the heck it is, over the mountain, through the mountain, around the mountain. Just get on your path, go with your flow as opposed to someone else's. Doesn't mean we don't learn from others, doesn't mean we don't connect with others, because that's who we are, social creatures. We do learn, we do, we get, and we should learn forever, always. But I really like what you're saying is it's just be real, be the real you, and that's your salvation, or that is your liberation. So on that note, on this merriment of festivities, to cut loose and be free and enjoy it up. Thank you, thank you, Face Dancer, and that's been really lovely time to spend some time on these holidays with you and to catch up in the end of the year, and we'll be connecting even more so. So I'm Andrew here, Knowledge Adventure, here with you, sharing with you, and bringing Paul Gordan, Face Dancer, to you live and in person, well, online.
All the best to all you folks out there, and Andrew, my man, we'll continue to be in touch. It's always nice to get to chat with you. So to be continued. To be continued. Happy trails, my brother. Go get him, man. You too. Nice one. Where's my stop button? I need my glasses. I got to put my eyes in. Oh, there they are. Put your peepers on.